Hello everyone, today we are looking at a freeze build, but it's gonna be a blizzard freeze build. I absolutely love this. I don't know if you guys saw it, but yesterday Nordwar from maxroll.gg actually killed Lilith with a freeze blizzard build. It is quite fantastic, and I've been playing it for about 14 to 16 hours, and I have to say it is really powerful. Let me just show you quickly how it works, what are the necessary aspects you need, and the Paragon boards to be able to do similar damage and to do basically a lot of AoE and a lot of freezing. This build is considered really good because it does a lot of stagger, freeze, chill, and a lot of crowd controls. So basically what happens is whenever you're going to be ready, you are going to use Blizzard all the time. To be able to use Blizzard, we are going to use it with an aspect which is basically going to cast ice spikes whenever we have Blizzard on. And when Blizzard is on, we can spam it to have more and more spikes coming out of it. It's quite fantastic. The really good aspects you need is going to be Glacial. You're going to need Frozen Tundra. You will need Prodigy. You will need the Exploders. We're still going to use Remnant of the Infinite, best in class armor in the game. And then we're going to use the Frozen Memories aspect for the Avalanche key passive proccing twice, because it's actually going to use the proc on Blizzard, which is really good. Then we're going to go and take a look at the Disobedience aspect to be able to get lots of damage reduction also from the pants. Really good, because you get into the fray of the attack and you still demolish everything. Then we're going to use the Binding Embers, so whenever you use Flame Shield, it's actually going to immobilize enemies and we can pass through them, which is absolutely great. Then we're going to have the Smiting aspect, which will grant us about 20 to 40% increased crowd control duration, which is absolutely great. And then between 10 and 20% increased critical chance against injured enemies when we are healthy. Very good too. Also, we're going to use the control aspect, where we're going to do way more damage to immobilize, stunned, or frozen enemies. The key aspect of this build is really stacking different buckets of damage, and that's why we do a lot of damage. As you can see here, the damage sheet is not as big as I had with my Ice Shard. Ice Shard build had around 14k damage, and I was hitting for about 300 to 400k damage per hits of Ice Shards whenever we had all the crowd control. But with this build, we can actually hit for millions of damage. I've done, I think, 1.75 million damage with a Blizzard, which is unheard of. We've never actually had a million damage cap with the Sorceress. I'm really glad we got one now. So let me show you for the skills what you are going to need. You will basically need to get the Blizzard and some other things. So really quickly, just 2 points in Firebolt and Arclash. Firebolt is interesting because we are going to use it as an enchantment. We're going to come back to it a little bit later. Then we're going to use the Devastation to get more mana, because it's really mana hungry. We can actually take this one off, but I didn't want to reset everything. So if you do it from scratch, just don't take Elemental Dominance. We won't need it. We're going to do 1 point in Flame Shield with the 2 enchantments and Shimmering. We're going to do Teleport with Shimmering also. And then Ice Armor with the Enhanced Ice Armor. And the most important is going to be Frost Nova. As you can see here, I have 12 rank to Frost Nova because I've actually got +3 defensive on my amulet, and I have +4 to Frost Nova on my boots. Really important to have the maximum amount of Frost Nova, because it's actually going to proc Vulnerable. And as we know, Vulnerable is the best damage multiplier in the game. This is why we want to stack them. Then we're going to go down a little bit. We're going to use Ice Blades because we're going to use it in conjunction with the build, where we can actually swap the Ice Blades for Deep Freeze, and whenever we are done, we can go back to Deep Freeze with another Ice Blades. Really good for cooldown management also, because every time we are done with the actual Ice Blades, they have a summoned Ice Blade where 20% of enhanced Ice Blades cooldown reduction is applied to other skills. So we're gonna benefit from the cooldown reduction from the enhanced. So Ice Blades cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds each time it hits a vulnerable enemy, and we're gonna do lots of vulnerable damage because of Frost Nova. At 12 rank, it's a cooldown of 10 seconds. Really good, and it goes down about 20% every time we hit someone with vulnerable, and it goes to to that Frost Nova. So it's really, really good. In conjunction, we are going to use the align the element to get damage reduction, 2 points to be able to get it faster. You can get 1 point only if you need. Protection using a cooldown grants 30% barrier. Fantastic. And we can even take mana shield off, but I think I couldn't. Yes, I can. Perfect. Amazing. So you can take it off completely. On the mastery page, we are going to take Ice Veil to get more barrier, and we're going to do Cold Front to be able to get even more chills applied with barrier active. Very, very good. Blizzard with its enhancement, and the Mage's Blizzard, where whenever we cast 50 mana, Blizzard duration is up to 4 seconds more. Absolutely, absolutely disgusting. Then Inner Flames, just 1 point to be able to use Devouring Blaze, where we are going to use to get increased damage and up to 75% to immobilized enemies. And if you remember right, we have Flame Shield here with our aspect that will immobilize enemies whenever we pass through them. This is why it's absolutely crazy. We took only 1 point in Deep Freeze, no need of the 2 enhancement. Permafrost, and then Hoarfrost and Icy Touch for the vulnerable damage, for the chilled and frozen damage, and again for the frost on enemies damage. We are going to use Avalanche as our key passive because we use it in conjunction with the frozen memory aspect, so we can proc twice, and whenever it procs with Avalanche, with Blizzard, I mean, it does a lot of damage. I'm going to show you also briefly the Paragon board that we're using. We are using around 6 different boards, so you will need a lot of your Paragon points if you're not high level or you haven't done Renown. I strongly suggest you to do it because we are going to get a lot of different damage appliers with this here. So we're going to start with the first one, and we're going to use Enchanter or Elementalist, one of the two. The one that you have at higher level is great. We are going to activate the 20% non-physical damage and the 30% non-physical damage right here. The blue ones also, if you need. We're going to go and make our way up to the second board, which we've used is Icefall. We are not actually going to activate Icefall, but we are going to use the glyph socket here for Frostbite. Frostbite is going to give us 121% damage to chilled enemies, and it's not even level 21 yet. It's level 15, so it's going to be way more than that. It can go up to 200%, I think. As you can see here, we've also taken Frost as the rare node, 30% damage to chilled enemies, so we do even more damage to them. We're going to take the second one also because it's important, with the blue nodes surrounding them. Then we're going to make our way on the left to be able to activate the third glyph, which is going to be Tactician on the Frigid Fate board. This board is super easy because we can just go back and go up right away. We are going to activate the Weakness board, where we're going to get more vulnerable damage. As you can see here, my exploit, I think, is... sorry, this one is Tactician. I think it is pretty high. It's level 15. It's not even level 21 yet. But what it does, basically, it's going to give bonus to the rare nodes. And since we're activating the Chilling and the Weakness nodes, we are going to get way more vulnerable damage. And like I said earlier, vulnerable damage is the best in slot in the game. We're also going to make our way on the right here to be able to activate more vulnerable damage nodes. So this one here, and this one here. And then we're going to get these two to be able to activate another 20% vulnerable damage with the oppressive rare node right here. We're going to make our way on the top for the fourth board, where we are going to use the Static Surge one. Going up just to activate the actual glyph, we're going to put Exploit in there to be able to get even more vulnerable damage. And dealing damage to vulnerable enemies increases the damage for by 1% for 6 seconds up to 10%. So even more damage stacking. And then we're going to make our way up right here to be able to use the damage to stunned enemies. As you can see, we've activated twice. We're going to take it this time 3 times, sorry. So we're taking 90% damage to stunned enemies. It's more and more ways to get crowd control. It's very, very good. Fantastic build for now. And then once these 3 nodes are active with their rare nodes that is combined, we are not taking these ones here. We're going to make our way to the right. From the right side, this is the 5th board. We are going to take control. 110% damage to crowd controlled enemies. So frozen, chilled, slowed, stunned, everything that we are already applying, it's going to count and it's going to dish out even more damage. For this one here, we are just making our way through to be able to get the damage reduction from enemies that are burning and the damage to burning enemies. So as you can see here, we have activated 4 yellow nodes or rare nodes. So it is important to actually try to get them all met. I don't have them here because they are actually really, really high in demands. I don't know if you know, the more boards you activate, the more stat requirement it goes up. As you can see here, for the last one, it takes almost like I think 1,870 intelligence to be able to activate the node. So it's not that big of a deal because we still get the base damage. We're not doubling it, but we still get it. So we get 4 rare nodes with the blue nodes on the side, and then we're gonna make our way up to the last board, which we are going to use Flame Feeder. Flame Feeder is going to give us more damage to burning enemies. So if you are getting this right, we have burning enemies, we have crowd control, we have vulnerable damage, we have and then cold and vulnerable damage again. For the 5th one, we have damage to chilled enemies, and for the 6th one, we have non-physical damage. So as you can see, it's a lot of different activatable damage sources. This is why we hit so freaking hard. I am going to put a link in the description for the actual Paragon board. It's pretty easy to actually use, and this is what it looks like. So the actual feedback loop, or the loop that you're going to use for the sources, is whenever you're going to go into battle, you are going to get long range blizzards. So you're going to push them, you're going to do blizzard, and then whenever you are ready, you can go in with your teleport to stun them, and then do your Frost Nova to be able to apply the actual vulnerability. For the enchantments, we are using Flame Shield because we're playing hardcore. We do not want to die. And the Firebolt enchantment. For those who don't know, Firebolt enchantment, what it does is basically every skill that we use is going to be burning enemies. So every skill that we're using also going to do a little bit of burning damage. Hence why we are also activating everything in the Paragon board for those burning damages. This is why we're stacking so much and so many different multipliers that it does a lot of damage, even if the attack power on the damage sheet is actually less than the Ice Shard one. And there you go, guys. This is the video. I wanted to be way more concise and way faster into the delivery of the information. I hope you guys liked it a little bit better. If you want to see me do Uber Lilith solo on stream, I am streaming it Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday and Sunday in the day on Kick. It's kick.com/ghostofedseas, and if you follow, you get a chance to win $250 in Amazon gift card. Also, please subscribe to this channel so you can get a copy of Final Fantasy 16. It's coming out in 10 minutes as of this recording, and I will be covering the video. And as usual, as soon as you subscribe to this channel, you will get a chance to win a copy. It's going to be in 2 months, the giveaway this time. So basically, just subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side of the channel. Peace!